a global finance expert, an economist and international development professional with decades of experience, former member and board chair of many boards, former government official, a wife and a mother. This is the story of Dr. Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala, the Director General of the World Trade Organization. Dr. Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala was born in Agwashiakwu, Delta State, Nigeria to Professor Chukwuka Okonjo and Professor Kamini Okonjo. Okonjo-Iweala was educated at Queen's School, Enugu, St. Anne's School, Molit, Ibadan, Oyo State, and the International School Ibadan. In 1973, she moved to the United States of America to pursue further education, graduating magna cum laude with an AB in economics from Harvard University, 1976, and earned a PhD in regional economics and development from the Massachusetts Institute of Technology in 1981. Over the years, she has also received honorary degrees from 15 universities around the world, including Yale University, the University of Pennsylvania, Brown University, University of Dublin, Amherst College, Colby College, Tel Aviv University. She served 2 tenures in a 25-year career at the World Bank, first as a development economist and vice president and corporate secretary of the World Bank Group from 1982 to 2003, and later as managing director of operations between 2007 and 2011. In the latter position, she was responsible for managing an $81 billion operational portfolio in Africa, South Asia, Europe, and Central Asia. In 2010, she was chair of the World Bank's successful drive to raise $49.3 billion in grants and low-interest credit for the poorest countries in the world. She is renowned as the first female and African candidate to contest for the presidency of the World Bank Group in 2012, backed by Africa and major developing countries in the first truly contestable race for the world's highest development finance post. As managing director of the World Bank, she had oversight responsibility for the World Bank's $81 billion operational portfolio in Africa, South Asia, Europe, and Central Asia. Dr. Okonjo spearheaded several World Bank initiatives to assist low-income countries during the 2008-2009 food crisis and later during the financial crisis. In 2010, she was chair of the World Bank's successful drive to raise $49.3 billion in grants and low-interest credit for the poorest countries in the world. Dr. Okonjo twice served as Nigeria's finance minister from 2003 to 2006 and again from 2011 to 2015, and briefly acted as foreign minister in 2006, the first woman to hold both positions. She distinguished herself by carrying out major reforms which improved the effectiveness of these two ministries and the functioning of the government machinery. As a finance minister, Mrs. Iweala steered her country through various reforms ranging from macroeconomic to trade, financial and real sector issues. As finance minister, she was involved in trade negotiations with other West African countries and contributed to the overhaul of Nigeria's trade policy, enabling it to enhance its competitiveness. She also spearheaded negotiations with the Paris Club of Creditors that led to the wiping out of $30 billion of Nigeria's debt, including the outright cancellation of $18 billion. In her second term as finance minister, she was responsible for leading reforms that enhanced transparency of government accounts and strengthened institutions against corruption, including the implementation of the Government Integrated Financial Management System, the Integrated Personnel and Payroll Management System, and the Treasury Single Accounts. Dr. Okonjo has been listed in the top 100 most powerful women in the world by Forbes in 2022, 2014, 2013, 2012 and 2011, as one of the world's most influential leaders by Time magazine in 2021, one of the 25 most influential women by Financial Times in 2021, Minister of the Decade. People's Choice Award by Nigeria's This Day newspaper in 2020, one of Transparency International's 8 female anti-corruption fighters who inspire in 2019, one of the 50 greatest world leaders by Fortune magazine. In 2015, the top 100 most influential people in the world by Time magazine. In 2014, the top 100 global thinkers by Foreign Policy in 2011 and 2012. The top 3 most powerful women in Africa by Forbes in 2012, the top 10 most influential women in Africa by Forbes, 2011, and many others. In 2021, she received a Global Leadership Award from the United Nations Foundation as a champion for global change. In 2020, she became an Angelopoulos Global Public Leader at Harvard University Kennedy School. She was also appointed to the Presidential Economic Advisory Council for President of South Africa. In 2019, Dr. Okonjo-Iweala was elected to the American Academy of Arts and Sciences. Dr. Okonjo-Iweala is also the founder of Nigeria's first ever Indigenous Opinion Research Organization, NOI Polls. She also founded the Center for the Study of Economies of Africa, a development research think tank based in Abuja, Nigeria. She is a distinguished visiting fellow at the Center for Global Development, and also at the Brookings Institution, premier Washington, D.C. think tanks. Dr. Okonjo-Iweala is currently also chair of the board of the African Union's African Risk Capacity Arc, an innovative weather-based insurance mechanism for African countries, and co-chair of the Global Commission on the Economy and Climate with Lord Nicholas Stern and Mr. Paul Polman. She is also chair of the board of the Nelson Mandela Institution, an umbrella body for the African Institutes of Science and Technology, and chair of the board of the African University of Science and Technology, Abuja. Dr. Okonjo-Iweala is a trustee of the Carnegie Endowment for International Peace and many other roles she plays in many institutions around the world. On February 15, 2021, the General Council of the World Trade Organization agreed by consensus to select Dr. Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala of Nigeria as the organization's 7th Director General from among 8 candidates. In so doing, she became the first woman and the first African to be chosen as the Director General of the World Trade Organization. Her term, renewable, will expire on August 31, 2025. She is married to a neurosurgeon, Dr. Ikemba Iweala. They have 4 children and 3 grandchildren.